Mr. Cannon.
Mr. Havlish.
How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am. I'm on 4 hours of sleep after playing one of those preliminary MSPT events last night, but I am actually kind of spicy right now.
Yeah, you are. I can tell.
It's a lack of
You
sleep
tried to
spicy.
scare me when I walked in your house today.
You got scared. I didn't try.
Yeah. Well, you're doing it. You're keeping your balance well. You know, you did it, and then you
Stopped for a few times.
stopped for a few weeks, and now
I'm
you
balanced.
did it again. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like everything in life, brother.
Yeah. You can only scare me like 70 to 80% of what you used to do. But on the flip side, when you don't scare me, there's still that like 20 to 30% of anticipation that I have.
You know, I might just stop scaring you altogether, though, because...
Oh, that's smart. That's real clever.
No, the
the
reason I say that is because you're literally emotionless. Even when you get scared, you don't jump or like, oh, like you're just like, you're a robot. Like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah, no, I am.
So anyways, yeah, played the MSPT tag team yesterday with my buddy Dave. Had a lot of fun with that, even though we busted outside the money. Then I went and played their $200 Epic Stack Trophy event. Built up...
You built up an epic stack.
I did. I think I had up to like... You start with 50K, which is crazy. But I built it up to like 800K at my peak, and then...
It looked more like $1 million. I don't know. Yeah, whatever you sent the picture of was the
yeah,
peak.
it was like... I built it into a mountain. It looked like a lot. It was like 800 and something K. So anyways, I ended up min cashing that. A couple cool spots. We're not going to talk about today. We're actually going to keep this one slightly limited in time-wise so we can get out and play some more poker tonight.
Yep. Yeah.
But today's episode, we have a couple of fun things. We're going to start off talking about our predictions for the MSPT main event at Running Aces this weekend.
Yeah, we are.
You know, make a little bet on it like we did last time.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you got to make up for
It's the one bet you won, bro. Don't even stop.
Yeah, I crushed you. Not only did two of my three players final table.
You did as well.
I did as well, just for authority.
And then got second.
Yeah.
For like almost or for over 100K after all said and done.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Congrats to you, buddy. All right.
Yeah. Well, I'm sensing a bit of a repeat performance, but
you want to swap? All right, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that later.
All right.
Yeah. So predictions, MSPT.
Predictions MSPT, and here's kind of what I was thinking. So last time we each picked three players, and this will be a bit of a bigger field. And when I was thinking through who I may or may not want to pick, I haven't even decided yet, honestly.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of just in the air for me.
But when I was thinking about it, I'm like, man, maybe there are one or two who I don't even know if they're playing it.
Okay.
So what I'm thinking we should do is we should each pick 4 people instead of 3 because it's just a bit of a bigger field.
Yep.
And then we should each have an alternate where they only count if one of our players just doesn't even play.
Okay. They only count if we... Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
So...
And I'm just going to, give a disclaimer here. No hard feelings if you didn't get picked or got picked and you're the ghost or you're the alternate. I mean,
definitely.
This is just kind of random off the top. I'm just going to come up with first picks to my mind.
Absolutely. And should we make a rule where we can't pick the same people we did last time, or should we just keep it open?
Just keep it open.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's say you get first pick, then I get 2 and 3, you get 4 and 5, I get 6, 7, then you get 8.
Okay.
Right.
Wait, so you get 1, I get 2 and 3.
You get 1.
Okay, you get 2 and 3.
Yep.
Then I get 4, 5.
Yep. So basically I get
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. Snake draft.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
deep breath.
All right.
Do you got your first pick?
Yeah, so I'm first.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with a heavy hitter who only is kind of known here in the local scene. He doesn't do a lot of traveling, but he makes a lot of final tables. And I actually am a big fan of him. Mr. Ty Vanden. I don't even know how to say his name. You know Ty.
I know Ty. Didn't he final table last week?
So he's made 3 final tables this series already. With a win.
Okay.
So he final tabled the 360 regional, got 4th in that.
Mm-hmm.
He won one of the $200 Epic stacks. I think that's what it was.
Right.
And then I think he cashed a PLO. Anyways, 3 final tables or something from what I've heard.
Good for him.
So
that's a solid one. You know he's going to be in there firing, and he's always he'll build a stack eventually. It just
not only is
depends
Ty
what
like a
happens.
very solid player, but he's a solid dude.
I like him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ty is my first pick.
All right, that's a good one. My first pick is going to be someone we've had on the podcast. I'm going to go with Ku Vang.
That's a good one as well. Man, we're going to just start firing them off here.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to have a lot of our interviews on here.
Yeah. So I want to say he final tabled this one last year, right before he won in Firekeepers.
Okay. All right. That's a good pick.
Yeah. Either way.
Who's never a miss. So.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then you get third as well.
I get the other one too. Oh man, am I just going to do this to you here?
Yeah, you get it.
So this is one where I'm not 100% sure he's playing.
Okay.
Because he could just be playing somewhere else. But I'm going to go with Ian.
Ian
I have to
Matakis.
go with Ian.
All right. Yeah, you chose him last time, and he won
And he
the
won
Fall
the whole
Poker
thing.
Classic Maine.
Yeah.
You got runner up to him. Okay. 2 heavy hitters, Koo and Ian Matakis.
Yeah.
Okay. So, damn. All right. So now we got to really dial in here. I sent a text out to a friend of ours who was also we had on the podcast, Mr. Josh Reichard.
Yeah.
And I said, hey, congrats on, this is before he was even at the final table. He was chipping with 16 left. I said, bring it home, man. Good luck in the WPT. Would love to see it. And he's like, will do. And then I'll see you next week.
So he's going to, okay. That's a good one.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with Josh Reichard.
Smart one. Yeah. As we are recording this, he is currently in second place out of the final 6.
In the WPT, the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open, I believe is which one it was.
Yep.
With almost $900,000 up top.
Yeah, that's insane.
There's like 1,800 entries somewhere in there.
Yeah. There's some heavy hitters. I know Jesse Lonis and Landon Tice are
both
at the
of them in
final
there.
table.
I mean, it's just crazy to see how Josh can maneuver such massive fields so consistently.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's just, he's a master.
Okay. So it's my turn again.
Yep.
I'm going to, this kid's got a little fire under his belt. He's one of the ones to watch.
Yep.
He just won the MSPT regional.
I was curious if that's where it was going.
I know he's ready to fire away.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go with Arlo S because I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
I saw his last name. Pretty sure it's not even a real name. But
there's a Z and an R and a T and an S and a bunch of
congrats to you, Arlo, on your victory. 55K. Sweet.
He's a fearless player. I know he's going to go in there firing, and I know, just in the past year alone in results, he knows how to close tournaments. So I'm going to go with him.
I like it. So my next one too is also going to be one of the younger guys.
Okay.
I think they're friends, but this is a guy who he's made a final table or 2 in Minnesota. He's just solid. I think he plays very well under ICM pressure. He's a bit more of the short stack wizard.
Okay.
I'm going with Jason Hoffman.
Jason Hoffman.
Hoffy.
Grind with that dude on Global a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So wait. So you've chosen 3. I've chosen 3. Is that what's going on?
Yep. So
now we choose our.
I get one more because we're doing 4 and then an
yeah.
alternate. So I'll do one more, then you do one more,
and then an alternate. So
yes.
5. Okay, gotcha.
5 total and
I
4.
see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So who am I gonna pick last?
Get with it, bro.
Yeah.
There's so many good names.
There are a ton. I think.
You're thinking too hard.
I know I am. I'm going to give myself 5 seconds.
Yep.
4, 3. You know what?
Uh-oh.
I'm going to go with Jason Sell.
Jason Sell. I love it. Dude,
Yeah.
Jason is also another. I mean, he travels, he goes, he does.
He won an MSPT back before I was on the scene, I know.
I think you, again, in elementary school, somewhere around there.
Yeah, probably.
Is that joke old yet? Nope.
Well, I'm not old yet, so.
Well played. Jason Sell is a good friend of ours. We're actually getting lunch with him next week. I think that's a solid pick. He's a contender. You know what I mean? He knows how to play
And if
poker.
he ends up final tabling, I think he gets us a much nicer lunch. I think that's the rule.
I agree. So that's awesome. I like that you picked Jason. I'm going to I'm just sticking with the heavy hitters. Another past guest. I'm going to pick Mr. Richie Elsip.
Yep. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. And then we have, what is this, a $200 dinner on the line? Or
200 total.
200 total.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I'm down.
Yeah, steak dinner.
Yeah. So it could just be a draw too if none of them final table.
Okay.
But
okay.
I think
So now we have to pick our
an alternate. So
alternate.
someone who only counts if there's one of our players that just doesn't play.
Okay.
and I think you get to go first.
I get to go first. Okay.
Yeah.
So for an alternate, I want to choose someone from our Discord. Who am I going to choose? Here, the issue is I don't know who all from our Discord is going to be playing. I am going to go with Taylor Moss.
Okay. I like it. I think I'm going to go with someone who has been having some success on global. I know he's been working on his game a lot. He hasn't had the big live result yet, but he might be kind of due.
He's due.
And he's actually going to be out in Vegas with us, Steve Schmidt.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like this. I like it. Mr. Steve Schmidt. I actually I had the pleasure of playing with him, I think in the regional, was it, a couple days ago?
Yeah.
He's, I agree. He's been putting a lot of work in, and I think he'll be good. However, you might not even get to imagine if he gets first place or even has any result, and then but all my
other guys showed up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
still would be happy for him. All right, well, let's do it.
All right, you're on.
We got to write these down.
Well, at least we recorded them.
Okay, there we go. Easy enough. We can go back to this if we need to. So, looking forward to firing the MSPT at Running Aces this week. And for those who aren't aware and aren't in town, there's the $1,100 buy-in MSPT, which I'm sure you're familiar with, at Running Aces. It's a $500,000 guarantee. I would guess.
I thought it was 600. I don't know.
I think it's 500.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But
What is the number of entrants, or how much? Actually, no. How much up top are we gonna get?
This one in the past has gotten between like 150 and 180, which is more like 800 or 900 entry. Like the prize pool is probably going to be closer to $1 million.
That's
than
a lot of cheddar.
500,000.
I bet we break 1,000 entries.
You want to bet?
No, I don't. I actually don't want to bet on that. But I know a lot of people, since the Seminole Hard Rock Poker Open is done, all of the heroes are going to be back in town. I know people are going to be traveling here for this one. It's going to be a big one.
Yep.
So looking forward to that. Moving on to our actual topic for the day.
Yeah. So this is one, we're going to do another WSOP prep here. And this one we might divide into a couple episodes.
Just so your face, our brain doesn't melt due to, being bored.
It can be kind of boring, but this is the stuff. So I posted a couple weeks ago in the Discord saying, we just recorded another episode. Are there any topics people want to hear about? And multiple people instantly said ICM spots and where we make big deviations due to ICM. So
I think a lot of people will actually learn a lot from this, because a lot of people know the term ICM. They don't really know. I mean, they know, like, maybe I got to tighten up here because of ICM, there's a shorter stack than me, but they don't really know practical use or practical application. So we're going to kind of run through some hypothetical scenarios.
Yeah, some hypothetical scenarios. And today we're going to focus more on being on the bubble, the money bubble. And then next week or whenever we'll do a separate one on final table ICM.
Yeah, so ICM differs between the two. ICM is probably arguably a little bit crazier in the final table.
Yeah, it is.
Where pay jumps can be huge.
It is. It's also, as you'll see, it's pretty crazy on the bubble in some cases too. When you're really on the stone bubble or maybe one off the bubble.
Right, that can be crazy as well. I mean, ICM sucks. You want to know why? Just a quick example before we get started. I was at the final table of it was either the Sunday Blitz or the Sunday Scrim last weekend on Global.
The scrimmage, I think.
I think it was the scrimmage, yeah. And under the gun opens, there's 4 shorter stacks than me. I have King, Queen of Clubs in cutoff.
And you just have to fold
Just
it.
muck it. I don't want to fold King, Queen of Clubs to a 2 big blind open. I had like 35 bigs, but there was just 3 or 4 really short stacks here. And I mean, I'm literally just punting if I somehow lose this hand and go busto here. I mean, for thousands of dollars. So
yeah. Yeah. Did you know I final tabled that again last week? You final tabled it 2 Sundays ago.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I didn't get the chance to play it, so that's probably why you got there.
Yeah. Whatever.
I'm just playing. Congrats. What place did you get?
7th.
Okay, I mean, out of 300 or something.
That was the one in the Discord. Me and Hoffy he got 10th.
Okay.
I got 7th.
Okay. I missed that. So.
Yep.
Okay. Well, Wes.
Yeah, let's get into it here. So before we get into the specific examples, there are a few different concepts and just ideas of, how to think about ICM, because it's so unlike anything where every particular situation you're in at the table will be different. And while there are mathematical ways to figure out, what you should do, they're so complicated that I don't even think it's worth getting into that deeply.
Okay.
More
just helping define a basic understanding.
Yeah, knowing what factors will impact your decisions.
Okay.
And then you can just kind of estimate what you should do.
I think our listeners will find this super helpful, especially if they, as we approach the bubble in day 2 of the MSPT.
Yeah. Here's all you should do. When I raise,
fold.
You fold.
Boom.
Yeah. Don't even look at your cards. I'm good at cracking aces. So, but that actually brings me to my first. Here's a really interesting way to think about it. So let's say you're in a tournament. You're like in 38th place out of 56 left and 55 pay. So you're on the stone bubble. At this point, 55 out of 56 people get paid. So roughly, what do you think your chance of cashing is going to be? It's going to be like 98%.
Dependent on my chip stack, yeah.
Yeah, like you're 38th. You're not.
I'm not even top 10 short of stacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a very high chance of cashing, and I'm going to probably play tight until I'm in the money.
Yep. Yes.
Unless I have a bigger stack to which I can then leverage ICM.
Right. So, but in this situation, only 1 out of 56 people is not going to cash. So if you have, 38th place, or if you're kind of an average stack, you probably have, a 2% chance of bubbling, give or take. But let's say you get it all in and you have pocket aces, but you're covered.
Yep.
So you're at risk. You could bust here. Now your chance of bubbling is like 20, like if they have pocket sevens,
20%.
It's 20%.
Yeah.
So you just like 10x'd your chance of going out without getting paid. Mm-hmm. And so obviously I'm not saying to fold aces, but it's a great example of why you need to be really tight, because in order for your all-in, for being at risk to be a profitable play for you, the upside needs to outweigh that downside. And if you're going to just 10x the chance that you bust without getting paid, you have to be very favored in the hand to win.
Isn't that funny though? How like you're talking about a scenario where you have pocket aces, and you're all in, but somehow your chances of bubbling are significantly increased. That's a great way to articulate it. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, so really what that means in spots like this is if you are going to be the one at risk in a hand when you're on the bubble, it's really only a good thing if you're dominating your opponent's hand. Like, this is not a spot to seek out being a 55% favorite.
Yeah.
Right? This is one where you're not looking to flip. Like, it's a bad result if you get it in as a flip on the bubble and you're at risk. And so, I think people sometimes feel like they get pushed around on the bubble, and I've heard people say, I want to know how I can play so I don't get pushed around, and it sucks, but you kind of have to. The way to do that is to just be the one with the big stack.
Exactly. If you don't have a big stack, your hands are tied. You're cuffed. So and just know, like, you're not getting pushed around. It's not something that is happening specifically to you. Even the best players in the world understand ICM and are doing the same thing. They're allowing themselves to, get bluffed and do these things because the value of just folding here is far more outweighs the value of trying to get it in.
Yes. And so the way this can look, so let's say, the big stack just shoves all in, and we'll get into a specific example of this in a second. But if you might think, oh, I need to call them with this hand because I'm probably ahead by a little bit, and so I'm not getting pushed around. Well, you are correct that if you call, it's negative. It's a bad thing for them. It's unprofitable for them if they have kind of a medium hand. But it's also bad for you, because if you call as a slight favorite, it's bad for them because they're most likely going to lose chips. But it's bad for you too because you're losing money. Even if you gain chips in the long run, you're losing money. And so even if it seems like you need to call them off lighter, you can put yourself in a situation where it's sort of a lose-lose. Like, imagine you're on the bubble of a satellite and someone's just raising every hand. Well, you just need to survive one more spot to get the payout to get the ticket to the tournament. So
It's always my favorite in a satellite when people just like can snap fold into their ticket and then they start. I got aces and they're all in. Like they feel like they need to win the tournament, but that's just not how it works.
right, yeah,
It's a very amateur move.
it is, and so sometimes you just have to. It's the most profitable thing to just fold. I mean, if you think about this conceptually, in a poker tournament, as people continue to bust out, even if you have the same stack, you've made more money.
Yep.
Hypothetically, let's say you're in a spot where somehow everyone busts out except one player, even if they have a 99.5 to 0.5 chip advantage on you, you just got second place money. Like that's huge.
Yep.
You know, so in poker tournaments, we're focused on making money, and that doesn't always mean making chips in the moment, you know. And that can be tough to conceptualize, but we'll look at a couple examples here.
Let's do it.
All right. So the first one I have here is we're on the bubble, or we're very near the bubble. The average stack is going to be about 25 big blinds in the whole tournament.
Okay.
But at this specific table, there's one guy with 53 bigs. And we're going to say it folds to him in the hijack, and he has 53 bigs. Okay.
Yeah.
The players behind him, I'm going to list off, are cutoff with 20 big blinds, button with 37, small blind with 19, big blind with 12, but if big blind folds, they'll have 11.
Okay. Yep.
So, and we're just going to say the hijack goes all in.
That's the 55K guy, right?
Yeah, 53 bigs.
53 bigs, yep.
And so we have this range pulled up here. He should be opening like 42% of hands, and then there are some where he can just jam. So let's say he jams correctly as to what this chart says. And so obviously the listeners can't see it, but basically it's pocket threes, deuces, ace five suited through ace three suited.
Those are the pure jams?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like king jack suited to king nine suited, queen jack suited to queen nine suited, and like king jack off, jack 10 suited. So it's not even the strong.
There's not even a lot. Yeah, it's like the hands that can make like, it's like the hands that are like strong, but they're vulnerable.
Yes. Yeah. They're not kind of like they'll have equity, but they're not that strong at showdown yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so you'll notice we're not now we're in solver land, right?
Yeah.
Your actual opponent may play very differently.
It's going to be much different.
I don't think with a 37 big blind stack on the button, my instinct would be to just not shove.
You'll see this a lot more online than live.
Yes, and probably in like live high rollers.
Yeah, and
stuff.
live high rollers. Yeah, where people are studying these things a little bit more frequently, right?
Yeah. So, but let's just say we're facing a shove and it folds to us in the big blind. So we're looking at.
We have 12 to start. We have one in.
Yep. And we're on the bubble. We're facing an all in, and let's just say we know that this guy is playing this range. So if you have pocket fives, you're always ahead.
Yeah.
You're flipping a lot, but you're always at least ahead.
If they're playing perfect strategy according to the solver, right?
Yep. So before we pull up what hands the big blind should call with, what do you just guess?
All right. So hands that we should call off our tournament life with here. I would say probably like pocket nines plus, and then like ace queen off plus.
I like so I think I'm going to guess the reason you said pocket nines plus is because if the opponent is jamming down to like king nine and queen nine suited, that means we've started dominating
exactly.
Some of those.
Yep.
I think you're right. On the pocket pairs. Yeah, you're dead on the pocket
look
pairs.
At that. Let's go.
We're actually folding ace queen off, but some of the suited aces, we like down to ace 10 suited.
So so nines and up pairs is calling, and then what's the lowest non-paired hand we're calling off?
Ace 10 suited.
Ace 10.
But then as far as offsuit, it's pretty
king?
much just ace king off.
Oh wow, okay.
And so this is super interesting. Obviously, I'm not expecting even myself or anyone else to go through and memorize this, but the concept you can take away from it is the reason we call 9s, but we fold 8s is because pocket 8s are just flipping too much.
And pocket 9s, we have a lot of their king 8 suiteds and stuff
the king 9 and queen 9 suited specifically.
King 9 suited. Yeah, we have those hands dominated where we just have so much more equity versus a coin flip.
Yep. Yeah, and so that's the takeaway is when you're the one calling off for your tournament life on this bubble spot with a stack where even though you don't have a big stack, you should easily be able to cash, right? You need to do it with a hand that is going to be a large favorite at least a decent amount of the time.
Yeah.
We're folding pocket 7s, 6s, 8s, even king queen suited, even though these hands are going to be favored a decent amount of the time because there will just be enough of the time where it's a flip.
But if you can guarantee yourself by folding into the money, if you can fold here and just guarantee the money, you're essentially gambling at that point.
Yeah, no, that's
for
true.
A double up, and it's like, and then you got to ask yourself, is me having double the stack I have now worth the value of not cashing this tournament?
Right. And the interesting thing about that,
like, will it change my tournament for me moving forward, having twice as much as I have now?
Yes, yeah. And so the interesting thing here is, so let's go back and say the button. So the button was the one with 37 bigs.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So it seems like it would be really bad for the button to bubble.
Yeah.
But if we look at what the button can call off with, it's actually slightly wider than what the big blind can. And it goes back to exactly what you said. So it's kind of similar. The button can call off for 37 big blinds here with pocket 8s and better. So one pocket pair lower, and then can also call off with ace queen offsuit, which the big blind.
That surprises me against the. I mean, I understand. It's just like this kind of goes along with what I said here. I mean, if we're doubling up with this big of a stack, all of a sudden, like, and the bubble's not bursting, we have a lot of opportunity. But that's a big call off.
It is, and so. Because, yeah, you had just said, think about what happens when you double. And say, well, if you double with 12 bigs, then you'll have an average stack, which is comfortable.
But if you were going to cash with your 11 bigs, it doesn't really matter if you're at 25 bigs now. I mean, if you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's nice, but it's not as much upside. If you have 37 and you just double up and you have 75 bigs now, you have triple the average. You're probably close to tournament chip lead.
And you're setting yourself up for a very deep run.
Yes. And so that is why you can call off just a little bit lighter when you have
this is super helpful and kind of a little bit
a little unintuitive.
Unintuitive, exactly. That's the word I was looking for. It just feels like so punty. I mean, it's funny because it's like we have so many chips already, and then like why risk everything on the money bubble? But it's like, well, if our big stack opponent's range is just gonna be so much wider because he's abusing the bubble here, and we can just have him dominated to have an absolutely massive stack, which can bring us to down to the final table. I see it. It makes sense, but it's just like, wow, it's risky.
It is, and
but it's poker.
It's poker. I mean, yeah, if we didn't like a little risk, we wouldn't play this game.
Truth.
So, and it reminds me, there was this video I saw of, I forgot who it was, but he was showing you how if you're on the stone bubble and someone opens and you have ace king with 3 big blinds and you're in middle position, you just fold. Like, you can just fold.
Say that one more time. I was looking at my computer. Sorry.
That's fine. If you have ace king and 3 big blinds middle position, someone opens on the stone bubble, you can just fold.
And that kind of aligns with what I was saying earlier. It's like
you're not gonna. The value of that stack is pretty much just being able to min cash.
To get to the min cash, right? Because if you double up, I mean, you're still just as much risk as you were with a 3 big blind stack of not cashing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, and you don't have fold equity, etc. But if that same player has like 18 bigs, you rip it in because you're going to get the folds a lot, and even if you have to flip.
So there's a mentality that goes with this. It's like if you have a stack to where it's worth doubling up, you can continue. It might be worth getting it in so that you can make a better, deeper run. But if you're a shorter stack, your motivation changes from I don't need to win this tournament. I just need to cash this tournament.
Yeah, because the value of your chip stack, if you have a short stack, so much of that is based on just
I
getting.
feel
to
like
the
I
money.
could have again articulated that a little bit better, but
Yeah,
continue.
no, absolutely. So, yeah, that's a kind of a cool example. I do have one more that
Okay.
we'll take a look at here. All right, so this next example is going to be a similar situation where right now the average stack is like 20 bigs, but we're on the bubble of a tournament. And what we're going to look at a couple aspects here. So under the gun player has 50 big blinds, and the second biggest stack at the table has 24. So the under the gun player is by far the table chip leader. And then the other interesting thing is the big blind only has 4 bigs. So if the big blind folds this hand, he'll have 3 big blinds
We're on the
left.
stone bubble.
Yep. And so we're going to look at how the under the gun player can play, and then how the big blind
Okay.
responds to aggression, not just from under the gun, but from basically anyone. And
I mean, I feel like this will kind of align with what we were just talking about.
it does align with it quite a bit. So actually, the first thing here I wanted to look at is, so the small blind, let's say it folds to the small blind somehow. Small blind should go all in with 100% of hands.
Okay, just yeah. That's
Quite literally.
There's not
7
even
deuce
a
off.
blip of anything else. Yeah. So, and that's because because the big blind isn't has a stack to where they're not playing to win; they're playing to cash.
Yeah.
And so they should be just folding 100%.
Well, not exactly.
I mean,
yeah.
Okay, maybe a little over the top, but
Yeah. So small blind goes all in. Big blind should fold 57% of their hands.
Okay.
Here, which is still
a lot.
I mean, the price that is being laid right now to the big blind is literally 2-1. So usually the big blind should pretty much just in a chip EV situation, the big blind should just call like anything.
Yeah.
But right now, like the big blind should fold deuces, like queen 3 suited, queen
What
7.
does it say about
10,
8 deuce suited on here?
8 deuce suited?
Yeah. Is it a fold?
Fold.
All right, good.
Yeah.
All right.
Why?
Nothing. Never mind.
You're thinking of an example?
I have an example, but I'm not going to talk about it.
Okay, that's fair.
It's almost identical.
All right. Well, were you the big blind?
I was.
And you called it off with 8 deuce suited
I did.
on a stone bubble?
5 from the money.
It depends on how many people.
I had 3.5 bigs.
How many people in the tournament?
There's 25. 20 left. 15 get paid.
That's a little different though, because you still have to lose a quarter of the field.
I mean, I was looking at the math, and I'm like, if I'm 40% here, it's a profitable call.
Yeah. Well, and that's absolutely correct from a chip standpoint. And
But I also thought that I wasn't going to make it to the bubble unless I got a double.
which is probably true because you were probably in last place and 5 people needed to bust.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
So I took the spot, and we won it.
I mean, good.
That was last night.
Live or online?
It was the $200 Epic stack.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
you had that big stack and you almost didn't get paid.
Right, I did. Yes, I check rate. Yeah. Anyways, we're not going to get into it.
Yeah.
I could go on some tangents.
Some tangents.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that could be better. And I don't know, because you do need to double there.
But it's an ICM situation where I'm just like, wow, like, do I have to go with this here? And I ultimately landed on I'm not going to cash unless I get a double, and I'm the shortest stack, and I have the chip EV to make, the EV to make, for this to be profitable.
Yeah, you're priced in. And so,
Sorry for the tangent.
oh no, that's okay. And
My opponent wasn't too happy.
well, I can imagine so. I mean, what did your opponent have?
Ace 5 or
okay.
some Ace 6 or Ace 5, something like that.
Yeah, it's a drawing hand.
I know, but he ended up bubbling.
Well, he should just fold to your big blind next time.
Yeah, what is he thinking?
Okay, so I looked at if this was just a chip EV scenario.
What evil son of a bitches.
I know.
That's just an evil. He bubble. Sorry, go ahead.
So if this was a chip EV situation, the big blind can still fold basically that shit triangle we talked about.
A little bit less like portion of the shit triangle.
Yeah. But should be calling over 80% of hands. But in this ICM spot we were looking at, the big blind should only be calling 42% of hands. So like half as many.
Okay.
And so that's what makes this such a profitable jam for the small blind is the big blind just has to fold because the big blind can get a whole nother orbit.
Yeah, and the small blind has how much? How many? Big
14.
blinds? Yeah, so I mean, even if he gets called and lose, he's still easily going to cash the tournament.
Mm-hmm. And so now let's say it folds to the button who has 12 big blinds.
Yep.
And he decides to go all in. And so the small blind we said has 14 big blinds here. Now, usually in a chip EV scenario, this would be a spot where the small blind can call it off with any suited Broadway, any ace, basically, any pair.
That's interesting because I'd imagine that the button's range here is going to be actually tighter.
Yeah.
Being, with a bigger stack in the small blind.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it could be, but anyways.
Yeah. But from an ICM, from a bubble standpoint, even though the small blind has the button covered, it's only by 2 bigs, so this is a big deal. As the small blind, we can only call off with ace-9 offsuit and better, ace-8 offsuit and better, pocket 8s and better, and then king-queen suited.
Okay.
So there's basically, there's tons of, all those medium to smaller pairs, all the low ace-x suited, the suited Broadways, the king-queen and king-jack, and even king-10 offsuit that would normally call in a chip EV scenario. These now have to fold. Because even though you might make chips from a call, you're going to
remind me.
lose money.
Is this from the big blind or the small blind?
Small blind?
Okay, so this is the guy. Okay, this is the small blind after the button jammed.
After the button jammed.
So button jams 12. Small blind has 14 bigs.
Yep.
It just barely has him covered, but he's gonna be folding mostly everything.
Mostly everything.
Except for the top premium hand. What was it? The top, whatever, 80%? No, like 90%? Yeah.
Top 10% of hands.
Or
Yep.
10%, right.
Yeah. And then the big blind, we remember only has 4, and we'll only have 3 big blinds if we fold. But the big blind, this is insane to think about, can still fold the small pocket pairs, can fold, has to call with any ace, and then, medium to high pairs, then the king, queen, king, jacks. But when you're supposed to fold as the big blind here and leave yourself with 3 bigs, if you have pocket 4s, ace deuce, if you have queen 10 suited, queen jack offsuit, these are decent hands. These are hands that you'll be favored in pretty frequently, or even just priced in if you have this few chips. And I think it's so easy to just flick in the call here because, I got to build a stack. Right. But on the stone bubble, it is just so important to get yourself that cash.
So, you've made a lot of really good points here. We want, it's important. A lot of people aren't going to know percentages of hands, they should, the top 10% of hands. If you tell that to someone, they don't know what hands are included in the top 10% hands. Just to give an example to someone here, what is the bottom of the top 10% hands? The worst combination, or the 10th% of hand.
Yeah, so
that sounded so weird.
Like we said, the small blind facing the button jam should only call the top 10% of hands here.
So it's down to pocket, was it 8?
Yeah, so ace-9 offsuit and ace-8 suited.
Okay, so that's the bottom of our range. But but guys, king queen off is in the muck. That's not in the top 10%.
Correct.
So ace-9 off is the bottom, and then pocket 8s is the worst pair.
Yep.
Okay. So, and then as your call off percentage gets higher, like 20%, you'll start adding king queen off and stuff in there and things like that.
Yeah. And so the last thing I was going to talk about in this specific situation is, so I'd mentioned that under the gun has 50 big blinds here, right?
Yep.
So usually under the gun is going to play pretty tight and probably open, I don't know, definitely less than like 15% of hands. But in this situation, they can open really 35% of hands and
so almost
just rip
double, yeah.
Yeah, just rip some of those hands.
It's kind of strange looking at the solver and the random hands they rip. So it's just 5s like most of the time. And
Yeah.
then queen jack suited, and then whatever else.
King jack suited
Yeah.
and like ace 5 suited.
And that's pretty much it, though.
Yeah. So if under the gun goes all in for 50 bigs or really just 24 because no one else at the table has 24 big blinds, you look under the gun 1 just has to fold ace king offsuit.
Yeah, I see that. That's crazy.
It's just kind of ridiculous. Even though
So
ace
tens
king
plus, and then what was the
and then
ace
like
jack suited up?
yeah. And
Why does it want to call with ace jack suited all the time, 100%, but fold ace queen suited?
probably because if we look at the hands that under the gun was jamming, it was like queen jack suited and king jack suited were 2 of the main ones. So
We
ace
have those
jack
hands
suited
dominated.
always dominates them, but ace queen suited doesn't dominate king jack suited.
Ah.
So again, this is relying on your opponent to play perfectly. I wouldn't memorize these. I would just fold ace jack suited too.
But use it as a baseline. Again, like having an understanding. No one will probably listen to this will memorize this stuff.
Yeah, I won't.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just important to hear it, digest the information, so you have an understanding of how it works. Because even that will help you make better decisions in the moment.
Mm-hmm. And so it is interesting too, because if we look at the hijack, who is the next biggest stack, the hijack can actually call wider. You can call ace king. You can call down to pocket eights. You can call ace queen suited, ace jack suited. So hijack, it's that same concept where the bigger stack has more to gain by doubling up. And so can actually take a little bit more risk.
Okay.
And then we get down to the button who has the 12 big blind stack, and the button should fold ace king.
It's crazy.
Which I think so few people would even think to do.
Unintuitive.
Yeah. Anyways, we could go through these examples forever.
Yeah.
I think the takeaway is the bigger your stack is, the more you get to apply pressure to others. But even if you're the one being applied pressure to, the more incentive there is to try and double up because it means so much more for the tournament down the line.
Right. So yeah, and to kind of just expand on that, say the 50 big blind stack open jams. Well, if you're the 35 big blind stack, you can be calling pretty wide here. And the reason, not pretty wide, but you can be calling off because the thing is if you get a double here, you're setting yourself up to make a very, very deep run. To whereas the 12 big blind stack doubling up to 25 big blinds isn't as important as a 35 big blind stack doubling up to 70 big blinds.
100%. And so the last thing I wanted to talk about was a little bit more conceptual stuff, and we'll probably dive into this more when we talk about final tables.
I have a feeling we'll do a lot of episodes on ICM and just break it up into pieces like this. There's so much to talk about it, and I enjoy listening to this stuff. It helps keep me sharp. I'm hopefully going to have a big stack and just punish the bubble this weekend. But if not, I'll be folding a lot.
Yeah. If not, you'll play like a little wuss.
And if I have, a decent stack, 30 plus bigs, and I see, someone ripping 50 bigs pre on the bubble, I might start making some adjusted calls.
Exactly. All right. So the last thing, and we'll talk a little bit more about this as we talk about final tables, because it's a little easier to think about. But your stack is not all that determines your ICM pressure. It really has to do with the other stacks around you. So like, let's say, in one of these scenarios, you're on the bubble and you look around and no one is below 15 blinds. Well, now there's maybe a little bit less pressure. But if there's a bunch of people have 15 big blinds, but then there's one stack or maybe 2 stacks with like 1 or 2 bigs, the pressure on those 15 big blind stacks goes up.
Increases significantly.
Yes.
Because there's your opponents are so close to death, as we will say.
They are, yeah. And that's really just because there is such a high, the likelihood that those short stacks bust is so high that the EV of your stack is one of those 15 big blind stacks is a little bit higher than usual because it's assumed you're going to cash almost 100% of the time. So you're giving up more by busting there.
Right.
And the way that'll come through at a final table is like, if it's
huge when big pay jumps are on the line.
It is. So like, let's say there's a 50 big blind stack and, two 30 big blind stacks and a 5 big blind stack.
Yep.
Well, the pressure's really on those 30 big blind
Yeah,
stacks.
they should be the ones that are tightening up significantly because their goal at this point is to wait for that stack to bust, the 5 big blind stack. And the big stack is going to be the one that has all of the leverage under them, so they can utilize that to increase their wealth.
Yes, so the 50 big blind stack can pressure the 30s. Not so much the 5 though, because the 5 big blind stack is supposed to just get 4th place so often in that spot where, there's not usually a lot of pressure on the shortest stack, right?
Right.
But if there were a 50, a 30, and then a 7 and a 5, now the pressure is on the 7 and 5.
Yeah.
There is pressure on the 7 and 5. There's pressure on everyone a little bit.
But probably mostly on the 7 big blind stack, followed by not so much on the 5 big blind stack because he's willing to get in at this point as the shortest stack. So it's like I would say it goes in order of like the 7 big blind, then the 35 big blind, then the 5 big blind.
Yeah, it kind of depends who's in the hand too, right? Because if you're the 30 big blind stack, if
the big stack is out of the picture,
if the big stack is on your left,
then you're going to be the one who gets to apply the pressure.
Right. But if the 50 blind stack folds and then the 30 big blind stack is on the button, now there's no pressure on you, and you get to apply the
They're
pressure.
essentially assuming the role of the big stack.
Yes. Yeah. So there's so many dynamics that go into ICM. And I do think we will have at least one, if not more, episodes on this kind of stuff.
In the future, for sure. I could even see us doing maybe a video, like following one of those, what are they called? The GG Poker Cards Up tournaments, where ICM is huge at one of the final tables, and we can discuss. Well, I mean, when I watched him, you can just see how ICM is being just absolutely exploited, or not, maybe exploit's the wrong word, but it's being used by these players. So they're making tighter folds. The bigger stacks are opening wider. Like, it's so cool to watch because these people can make so many chips if they do it correctly.
Yeah. It's one of the toughest parts of tournament poker because there are so many iterations of it and so many factors where there's no way a human can really master it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think even as far as our WSOP prep episodes, we'll continue the conversation.
This episode got me hyped today. I'm glad we went over this. I think our listeners will enjoy this a lot. I think we should probably wrap up here. I got some tournaments to play tonight.
Oh yeah, me too. Now, that's the question for me. Do I play online or do I go? I mean, honestly, if we're gonna max late reg this monster sack,
you just do both.
Could just be out the door too.
Yeah, exactly, and that's also a possibility. Then I'll come home and enjoy my night.
Yeah.
So I think I think you should join me.
I think I will.
All right, I'm glad to
getting
hear that.
hyped
Let's go. Okay, so looking forward to our bet. I can't wait for you to buy me dinner again.
Yeah, guys, if I picked you, you better come through for me. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. All right. Yeah. And vice, same with me. I think my guys though are just. I mean, we picked a lot of really good players all the way around. So, you know what? Next time we should make it so that we can't pick the same players, just so we get new players in there, make it interesting.
Yeah, I did only pick one of the same guys. Yeah.
Ian.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, guys, without being said, I say it every time. The Discord server. Wes thought I was going to go with good morning, good evening, good night. No. Discord server. Hop in there. Again, it's, we just have so much fun in there. We've been talking a lot in the general channel. We have the hand history channel. We have the suggestion channel. We have the resources channel where you can go and find other things that'll help your poker game. Just all this stuff that you can just hop in and take a look at. Make sure to get in there. You can find the link on my tweet, pinned tweet at the top of at Deuce Nukem. I can't talk right now.
You can't do anything.
Yeah, except for win this tournament.
We'll see. Buddy.
I'm just going back to back tonight and this weekend.
Okay.
Anything else?
You're gonna win the Sunday 250 after you. Well, no. After today, you'll fold your way into a min cash is what you'll do.
Okay.
For the MSPT.
There's
main.
worse scenarios, so I'm not too upset.
True.
with
I
this.
remember one of those when we were in Iowa last year.
Oh man, I can remember multiple.
Yeah.
Wes, anything else?
No, not really. Join the Discord, guys, if you haven't.
Yeah.
Like Max said, there are fun discussions, strategic discussions. You can post your pictures of your big stacks.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
So one last thing I want to touch on, and I'm so appreciative. It's been, 9-10 months. I'm not even exactly sure since we started Suited Kings podcast.
Honestly, we only released our first one like 7 months ago.
Yeah. And I just want to say how thankful I am to a lot of you listeners who I haven't met yet, and the ones I have, I've gotten so much good feedback. I'll just be standing there and, and a bunch of you will come up and just say hi and say that you enjoy listening to the podcast. That means a lot to Wes and I. It, it motivates us to continue making this stuff. We love doing it. And, we have other, poker and other things that we get our income from. So this is something we do straight out of love for the game. So
yeah,
we love hearing that you guys.
But that being said, we're going to start charging you to talk to us.
$50 per high on break. I love that. I had a sentimental moment going.
I know.
And you just go and ruin it, Wes.
But I agree with what you said. It's fun to hear you guys, say you like the podcast
From all over.
Love the feedback. Even, the suggestions and stuff too is great. And
we have over 20 different countries that have listened to our podcast.
Yeah.
How sweet is that?
It is pretty insane.
Yeah.
When you look at the amount of cities that have listened, it's almost 1,000, I think.
Is it? Wow.
Yeah.
So again, guys, the podcast is growing. We couldn't do it without you guys listening. So thankful. And we definitely just look forward to the future and all the content we're going to bring and keep growing this thing. So with that said, I'm going to go rip out the door, fire this tournament, and then hopefully bust Wes later.
Whatever, buddy. Good luck to you guys out there.
See you this weekend.
Soon.